Good afternoon everyone, I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me in the live studio today. I've got my trusted companion at the side of me. Say hi, Tom.
Hi.
Hi. He's excited about today's studio. I have no idea why. He's told me a few times he's excited and he would like to join me in the studio today. So sometimes it's hit and miss, but today he's here. And what are you going to do in studio today, sweetheart?
Draw 2 pictures.
And what are your 2 pictures going to be?
A sunny day and a rainy day.
And have we got a giveaway?
Yeah.
And we have a giveaway underneath the counter, which Tom has already coloured and spent about 3/4 of an hour on, I might add, before going live. So he was prepping with me and he's got it under his counter and he's going to show you at the end. So when we pick a lovely winner from live studio today, we will send it out to you. So in today's studio, welcome everybody first of all. For the newbies and new people that may be just joining us for the first time, my name is Toni and I'm a guest presenter over on Create and Craft, and this is my lovely boy Tom. And we love anything to do with crafty, so whether it be colouring, pens, pencils, die cutting, anything like that, we just absolutely enjoy it. And it's a great distraction at the moment, isn't it anyway? So thank you for joining me. If you've got a cup of tea, absolutely brilliant. I've got my coffee, don't forget to remind me. We have been on a lovely walk with our dog this morning, haven't we? A bit windy today though. But we are literally good to go. We're all prepped and really excited. So welcome to all the lovely faces, Tracy, Adele, Liz, John, Amanda. There's just so many on there, I can't actually get through them. Pat, Chris. So good afternoon everyone. I hope you're all safe and that everything is still okay. And that basically, you know, this little hour every day is bringing a little bit of sunshine to some of you at home. I know a lot of you are reliant on this hour. It's a lovely place to be and we do love doing it. We don't do it because we have to. We do actually love doing it. We are a family, as you know. Tim is on the lovely keyboard over there and Tom, 9 times out of 10, is here with me also. So Tom's going to start his project and we'll leave him be with that one. And I'm just going to quickly just show you the stamp we're going to be using today. So if you are crafting along, if you haven't got the stamp yet, please don't worry, the tuition goes on for a few days. And basically what that means is whatever you do in studio drops onto YouTube, so you'll never miss out. So if you haven't got the stamp yet, or you've seen, say you see the stamp in a few weeks time and we've done it, you can go back and watch the videos and just enjoy them and get the inspiration in there for you. So it never goes away. So if you like week 1, you can go back. If you like week 9, you can just hit and miss. You don't have to purchase any of the stamps, and you can always use any stamps that you've got in your stash. So the stamp that I'm going to be using is You Are My Adventure, and it's the lovely trees. We did it yesterday and so many of you have tried the technique that I showed you yesterday. It's not my technique, it's just a technique that's out there. So I'm so pleased it's inspired you to get your brushes out and just have a play and give everything a go, because some of the pieces are literally masterpieces. And everybody's looking forward to your masterpiece, Tom. Super excited. So we're going to use that one today, and as you can see here, the lovely samples, some of which we did yesterday, we're going to visit some techniques on this one today. And as you can see over just behind Tom, we have the fabulous, let's just see what that one's called, Smile. It's the swing, and that one's up and coming next. If you do like any of the products I'm using in studio, all you have to do is pop FBL into the search engine and it takes you to all the products, which Craft Academy or any products we've used in studio of late, and also our fabulous blending brushes, which came back yesterday, and we'll be sending those out at some point next week. So we're using today, we are using the lovely set of trees, and as you can see here, it looks quite small on there, doesn't it? But as soon as you see the size of the stamp, they are huge. So lots of capability to create bigger scenes, smaller scenes. You can take it right down to a small card if you just use the trees. The first one that we launched in the set was the fabulous Take It Step by Step, which I know you all thoroughly enjoyed. I'll just turn that one over for you so you can see how big it is. So the tuition is always there. We did 3 live hours on this one. And we're going to do the same on the trees. And then the last one, well, week 3, which is what we're up to now, is the lovely beautiful swing, and I'll just show you that one where we turn it over. There we go, super, super cool. So you can get so much out of these. They are big stamps, and every stamp that's sold, £1 will go to our local food bank at the end of the 12 weeks. So we're really excited about that and giving something back to the community as well. So let's have a look. So good afternoon, everyone. Any questions, don't be scared to ask through the live feed. There's lots of ladies and gents on there that join me every single day and probably can answer the questions quicker and far better than I can. Because I do like to talk, but I do miss them because they go so fast. Let's have a look. So blending brushes, if you missed them yesterday, it's just these 3 lovely brushes here. I'll just quickly show you now. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but not everybody tuned in yesterday. So we have our 3 fabulous blending brushes. They come 3 in a set, not 3 different ones. So you get 3 of this one in a set, 3 of this one in a set, and 3 of this one in a set. So you need to pick which one you like. So this one is a texture one, so you can see the bobbles on there. So this is going to go through all of your stencils. Let's just see if I can highlight that a little bit better. This is going to put texture through all of your stencils and give you some lovely textured background looks. This is super cool, and I will, as soon as I get a chance, demonstrate that in one of the Craft Academy classes. We also have the curved handle for the people who have dexterity problems and cannot hold a handle upright. You can pop your hand under like a clasp and put the weight on your thumb, or if you prefer, you can just grab it by the sides and blend from the sides. This has got an arch on there for easier blending. And then the one that I use is the one with the grip handle at the top and a flat one. The great thing about these is they are self-cleaning brushes. You do not need 10, 12 brushes. I know a lot of you like to have a lot of brushes, and some of you have brought 2 and 3, and that's absolutely fine. But if your budget doesn't stretch, you really do only need, I would probably say max 3, and that's why we've put 3 in a set. And basically you just clean them off on some white card and then move on to your next colour, clean it off. The self-cleaning hair, which is fabulous. I wish my hair was self-cleaning. So there we go. So if you have got the brushes, let me know your thoughts on them, and if you're waiting for them, and if you have purchased them, that is brilliant. And I never big myself up ever, and I never shout praises about my products because everybody's doing a fabulous job in the craft industry. But what I will say to you is those brushes are life-changing. You will never see me using another brush other than those, unless something else happens. These are the brushes to have in your stash. So let's craft, shall we? So as you can see, my stamp is well loved. And you can see how big it is as well on the top of my counter here. So this is the one that we're going to use today. And what we're going to do is, yesterday we did a lovely watercolour refill where we used our pens, didn't we? If you did miss the show, you can go back. It's only yesterday's show. I have posted the link over on my Facebook page too. And if you are wanting inspiration on what all the lovely ladies have done, the design team members, ladies that are big fans of Stamps by Me on here, and you are wanting a little bit of inspiration, they have posted some fabulous makes. Some with people in, some with houses, some in muted colours. So it's just amazing. And I love to see your makes, as you all know. So don't forget to tell all your friends about this channel too. We do not expect you to buy our products. We do love you to buy our products, but we do not expect. The inspiration is there for you, and you can dig out anything you've got in your stash to craft along with me and my little dinky family. So then, let's craft. So how many people are crafting along? So I've got a question. So which is better for blending inks, the blending brush or the small brush you say you use? The blending brush or the small brush? What do you mean, sweetheart? You mean the two between these two? The only difference is the handle on this one is different. This is for people who maybe have a tremor or poor grip. It's just got a better grip on it with the arch on there. The hair is exactly the same. Okay, I just prefer to grip the bobble on the end of this one, so it's personal preference which one's going to suit you and your hand. If you find when you're using a traditional sponge dauber, should we say, and you hold it, instead of the handle, you hold it on the sides of the wood like that, okay, you can use this one. If you find you use the handle and you get a little bit of cramp, then you can use this one. So it's personal preference really. But you get a smooth blend with both. So give it some thought. And what we're going to do is, how many people's crafting along? Let me know. So I've grabbed a piece of white cardstock. Let's just make sure. Happy birthday, Selma, sweetheart. Yep, we've got a few people crafting along, which is great. So I've just got this piece of white cardstock, and I will give you the sizes if you are crafting along. So this one is 13 centimetres tall by 12. It's supposed to be a square, you can tell I don't measure. So this is 13 by 12, but you can get away with 13 by 13 centimetres. I'm just going to pop this into my Eureka here, and we're just going to use a little bit of the stamp today. And we're going to use these trees. We're going to not use the path part of it, so we're just going to use the trees. So I'm just going to pop that onto there. Now I'm not bothered if this hangs over my Eureka, it won't affect my artwork at all. I'll just get rid of the fluff off there. You can set it aside if you want, just try and get the image on there best you can. And then pick up the stamp. And what we're going to do is we are going to watercolour it. So you are going to need a waterproof ink pad. This is the one that I use. Now in studio, all I will say is over the course of the Craft Academy, I won't be using products where you either can't get hold of them, you will definitely not have in your stash. I'll be using lots of products that we already have in our stash. So watercolours, heat embossing, black ink, pens, pencils and things like that. And then hopefully you will all be able to craft along if you want to. And I will, as I go through the demonstration, talk you through other things that you can use if you don't have the things that I'm physically using. But we're not going to be like doing extravagant designs and extravagant techniques because a lot of people at home don't have the products. I completely scale it down for you, and then if you want to build on it, if you've got more things at home in your stash, then you can do that. So let's stamp this one out in black. So as you all know, my ink pad is slightly dry, so I might have to stamp it 2 or 3 times. So good old push on there. Is everybody else's chat okay? Might be your internet and maybe. Leslie, can I do a chart? Now, if memory serves me right, Adele, I think she's actually on chat, has a chart which she's posted a few times in the Eureka fan page. Is that right, Adele? Was it you, sweetheart, or am I thinking about somebody else? Somebody else is... Everybody's okay. It's okay, let me pass it here, sweetheart, I'll sharpen it. Oh, we'll have to use a different colour now, darling, because it's come out.
That's valid.
It's okay, I'll get it in a second. Yep, Adele, she has it. I am right, Adele has. So go to the Eureka fan page after the show, give Adele opportunity to repost it. And basically it shows you, it's just a quick go-to guide for your ink pads and what you shouldn't, what works with what basically. Good idea, if you have a question, pop a Q and it will help me out big time. Don't make them too difficult though, hey? So I'm just going to keep stamping this, guys. I do apologise. I do need a new ink pad and I will order one. You'd think I would have one in the shop, but I'm out at the moment. So I'm going to have to get online and get one. I'm just going to go with that. No, I'm not. It will frustrate me. Just one more time. There we go. So I'm just going to take this out of my Eureka. Let's move this out of the way for now. You've all probably got a lovely print waiting for me to stamp it 2 or 3 times. I do apologise. Carol, I'm going to use them in one of the shows this week, hopefully, and show you the different techniques that you can do with the texture brush, i.e. through stencils and backgrounds and things like that. So as soon as I get an opportunity, I'll bolt them into a show. So what I'm going to do, first of all, clean water, watercolours. So if you haven't got watercolours, maybe pencils, your distress inks, whatever you've got in your stash. As you can see, mine is absolutely disgusting. Just going to give it a quick clean. There we go. And just grab a brush. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and replicate this card here with the cartoon feel to it here. Now, traditionally, the one that we did yesterday, if you look at this one here, it was a traditional footpath. So you had your greens and your browns. But with this one, I'm calling this more of a cartoon style card because it looks like something out of a comic or something out of maybe a watercolour book, because we've got the lovely blossom and pink spotted in there too. So I'm going to show you how to get a bit of texture in your trees using alternative colours. So let's go ahead and do our trees. So first of all, I'm just going to spot some green into these trees. Now, because we've used our waterproof ink, let's turn this around, our black ink is not going to bleed. So super, super easy. I'm not trying to get a blend or a mix. I'm just going to go with the green, and I'm just going to cover the whole of this tree in here. It's just normal cardstock is this one as well. I haven't used watercolour card or anything, and I think that's probably why we've got the cartoony style colouring on there. So where the green trees are green, I'm just spotting that colour in there. And watercolours always dry back lighter, remember that, okay? So already we've got our trees in there. Thank you for posting the chart, Adele, that's very kind. And then I'm just going to go in with a second green, if you've got one. Just mix it in with the one we've got going on here, not to waste paint. And then I'm just going to spot some darker green in there too. Now when I say spot, I just mean I'm pouncing on the side of my brush. So just pounce it in, don't try and blend it out, just pounce it in. And this is going to give your trees just a little bit of texture. Like so. So you can see we've got a little bit of light and shade in there. So while this is a little bit wet, I'm not going to dry it off. I'm just going to take a little bit of pink, quite light if you can, and then I'm just going to drop some pink in and around this tree, so it looks like it's got a little bit of blossom around there. Not too much, and because the green is still wet, it sort of like mutes itself, it dilutes itself down. You see it's practically, look at that, it's practically disappeared. So that's where you just have to have the courage to go that little bit darker. Oh my gosh, the gems are out. Anyway, so be quite random with it. Trees are never formed in a specific way either, so be quite random with it. So it's still practically disappearing into nothing, isn't it? But it's okay, it'll be fine. So let's get some green onto the bottom here, and let's colour in this like sort of like grass verge here. What I'm going to do though is I am going to colour the whole piece, the sky and everything, but I'm not going to give it a smooth edge. I'm going to give it like a cartoon edge, so it looks like it's been washed out at the sides, if that makes any sense at all. So I'm going to take my colour here and I'm going to just drag it in from there in lines, so I don't have that lovely straight line. You don't want a straight line. That's not what you're trying to achieve. You want it to look quite random, so it looks like basically it's a watercoloured image. So I'm just covering the whole base of here in green, right to the very tip of that grass verge. Like so, and then if you want to add a bit of dark green, you can do that. So it doesn't matter where you add the darker green, it will practically disappear to nothing. So then in the grass area, I am just going to pop some lines in for this suggestion of grass. It's okay, I'll get it when we finish, darling. Like so. So I'm just using the point of my brush this time just to get those fine lines around the grass. And it's just going to tie it all in. Can we see that there? So you can see there's a little bit of a shadow going on. If you try and be too precise, it won't look great, because the image is quite a sketchy image, so for you to try and make it precise, it just won't work. So just go with it. It'll literally take you 5 minutes to colour this, and you'll probably be really pleased with it as soon as you've mounted it onto a bit of black card. So what I'm going to do now is brown. Let's get this path road in here. So just a little bit of brown on there, and then I'm just going to drag it onto the path here, and again I'm just going to do it so it's sketchy at the side. Can you see that there? So it's not like a formed line. Here is where I'm referring to. Make it a little bit darker for some shadows. So where the check part is there, that's suggesting you need a bit of shadow. So with a darker colour, go in and fill in that check. And as you can see, it's practically drying before your eyes, so lighter you cannot even tell that I've just put a darker one on there. And this is why I constantly say have the courage to go that little bit darker, because it will dry back to pretty much nothing. So going in there. So we'll leave that be. So let's do the little curb, and I'm going to mix some of the green and some of the brown just to give myself a different shade of like a putty colour. So the green and the brown, so the green from here and the brown from here I've mixed together, and now I'm going to go in with my curb. And again, just add a little bit more, and what we'll do is we'll add that shadow in where the cross hatching is on the stamp. That's telling you where you need to pop a bit more colour. We see that there? So it's pretty much coming together. And then we need to colour our tree. The bark of our tree. So I'm just turning my artwork on its side. I'm just going to pop some brown in there. Don't do what I've just done there and splashed a nice big line of brown. That's going to look great, isn't it, when I put my blue on for my sky. So is that your first painting done there, Tom? Yeah. Oh, crikey, my counter's looking really well there. Oh, crikey. Mummy should have put a mat down there, I think. Never mind. So, I'm just going to clean my palette here because I need to create a nice blue sky. So if you are watching over on YouTube, don't forget the little HD button that allows you to see the streaming a little bit better, gives you a better viewing. It's just on the bottom near the subscribe button. So let's do some nice blue for the sky here. So I'm going to do a really light blue sky. Really water it down, and then we can add to it if we want to. So I'm going to turn my image up. This is the way that I find the easiest. So I'm just going to turn it upside down. I'm just going to take some of this blue and I'm just going to add it in here, and again I'm doing the rough edge down the side. So I'll fill that whole area in. You see how it's a rough edge? It's not finished, but you can see already it's drying to practically nothing. And then in here, so stick to one area at a time because I am just using normal cardstock. Try not to be too precise with it. It does look more cartoon-esque if you leave white spaces. I'm just absolutely going for it here. Just get a bit more blue on there. Fill in between the trees. And if you want to make it a bit darker in areas, you can go back in, add some more. Probably could do with darkening slightly, it's practically drying back to nothing. Just going to go for it and use the ink I've got in my palette. It'll create texture in the sky anyway and probably give you the appearance of clouds. There we go, can you see that there? Super, super easy, guys. You're probably thinking, come on Toni, that is so easy. We're beyond that now. So let's dry this one off. Now if you wanted to be really arty with it, you could get a piece of tissue and scrunch it up and pop it into the blue, and it will soak up the colour and give you some cloudy effects. So try the different things, different textures. And I'm just going for a clean cartoony effect on this one. So just dry it off. So a few little reminders while I'm drying this then. Tomorrow I am with you at 3 o'clock and I am launching the 4th stamp in the collection tomorrow. And I'm sorry to bring it forward a day, but I'm on TV Monday with some sale shows. I think I'm on 3 hours, I'm not sure. So make sure you check the planner. And I'm on with some of the lovely products where there's some samples here you can see. So some of our earlier products, you can see there the lovely ladies, the letter T, some of our fabulous deco plates. They're all going to be in the show at extraordinary pricings. So if you have your eye on some products you've been waiting for, or you are new to Stamps by Me and want to start to grow your range, then you need to tune in on Monday. It's going to be a great, great show. So I'm using, the paints that I'm using are my Himi paints. They're just a little compact case. They're just compact and brilliant. Not too many colours, not overwhelming. They're the ones that I use. I do use my pens and I do use my pencils, as you all know. These are currently out of stock. We are getting some more in, and they're pretty. In fact, they're not pretty. They are really great value for money for what you get. The pigment in them is absolutely outstanding. So. But you might have something already. Can't wait for Monday, SBM collection. The ladies are fabulous. Yeah, we launched them Christmas Eve, I believe. So what's left, TV have taken, and I'll try and do some lovely demos for you. So if you have already got them, then at least you can sit back and relax. So I'm going to stick this onto here because I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do the matte and layers for this technique because the complete card looks beautiful when it's finished. So I'm just popping some glue onto this piece here. And I'm just going to stick it onto this black card here, and this is where your artwork starts to pop. So if you're thinking halfway through I've painted this, it looks an absolute mess, stick it out right to the very end, because sometimes it's not until you mount it onto a piece of black card it actually comes to life. And that would make a pretty card just like that, wouldn't it? You didn't have to do big cards. That would make a pretty little 5x5 card or something, wouldn't it? So you don't have to do the absolutely huge cards if you don't want to. So I'll just give that an opportunity to grab there. And whilst that's doing that, I am going to pop it underneath my Eureka and we'll move on to the next stage. So next piece then, guys, it's going to be an 8x8 card. Let me just make sure that this is an 8x8 card, top folded note card, and then I have a piece of black, which is going to be my matte and layer. So I'll just show you here. That's going to be my matte and layer. And then we have this piece here, which is going to be the next part of our demonstration. So this piece here, and I will probably say that this is about 7. So let's pop it in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a backdrop for that like cartoon picture we've just coloured there. Now if you have the courage, maybe try and paint the picture, this picture, try and paint it in grayscale. So the black from your watercolours, do it in different tones of grey, and you would have like a black and white photo appearance for like a gents card and things like that. That's really, really good. It'd make a lovely gents card, I know that. So here we go again with my absolutely rubbish ink pad. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to set myself up. So I want the trees to be in the backdrop of my focal point. So I'm going to hang this stamp over the side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave half of the first tree off my page. So can you see that there? So the first tree is half off my page. If that makes any sense at all. Move that out of the way. So we're only stamping really this element. I don't need this because this is going to be hidden. So I'm stamping this part of the stamp here. We're going to create ourselves a background, and this is what I always say about stamps. Try not to look at them as just one big focal point. Predominantly, probably 80% of your stamps in your stash can be broken down and made into smaller cards, extended to make bigger cards, DL cards, things like that. So it's just, as my partner would say, it's called looking beyond your nose. So let's stamp this one out. Let's give it a good old push down. Just pull that in a little bit closer. You're probably not having to stamp it 9 million times like me at home. Are you done? So I'm happy that that's there. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all clean the stamp. Clean the stamp so then it don't leave a mark when we come to extend the design. Best we can anyway. And if you have a stamp cleaning cloth, please use it, because these are horrific and mine is in my car. So I'm just going to take the stamp, I'll move this over, I'm just going to move my artwork over as far as I can get away with, hold it back in place, and then we're going to do the trees over this side. So I'm just going to capture a little bit of the stamp on there. Can we see that there? So the tree, the large tree, and half of the second tree. Okay, so don't worry if your stamp extends your Eureka, it will still work. So let's just get this one stamped. My gosh, I look up for a second and I've got lots of questions, so I'll look at them now while I'm stamping this one out. So, Carol, I've got a question. 60 acrylic gossip pens. Do you mean alcohol pens, maybe? Can you just clarify on that one, sweetheart? Oops. So I'm just going to do it one more time. We have our alcohol markers yet. They are on the website. We've had a few requests for these, which is fabulous, but we've also been asked, as you know, some of our products are on FlexiPay, and we know that this helps people a lot, albeit, as you all know me, I do not encourage you to go beyond your means. However, we do have a few products on our website, the more expensive products, to allow you to be able to craft with the products that I use in studio. So I'm just being told that they are going to be on the website and they are going to be popped on FlexiPay, because we've had a few people ask about them and asked if they will ever go on to FlexiPay. The answer is yes, they will. They're not yet, but they will, to help you be able to buy them. But please do not buy beyond your means, given the current situation as well. I would hate for anybody to get in trouble or anything like that. But yes, the opportunity will be there for you to do that, absolutely. Yeah. So, I would hate to stop anybody from crafting, but I would hate for anybody to, you know, just stretch beyond. I know we love our craft and things like that, but we just have to be careful, me included. So there we go, we have our lovely background. This card is so different, would never think of doing this. I know, to be fair, looking at it now, I've created myself a whole new scene there. That is a card in itself, isn't it? If I've got my watercolour paints and brought myself in a little bit of grass, I've got a little bit of a different scene. I've extended the stamp. I love extending my stamps as well. So let's take this out of here. Now I'm not going to colour this one. This is going to be the backdrop. So let's glue this onto our black matten layer. Crikey, I didn't cut that, you know, when I'd had a drink, because I don't drink. I must have been slightly distracted there. I need to just give that a little bit of a snip off there on the side. Story of my life, you know, every time I put a card in front of you guys, I'm like, does that look straight? I don't trust myself, I really don't. So let's just take off that little piece of excess there. So there we have our fabulous matten layer, all on the black. There we go. So nothing fancy, but great for a gents monochromatic card as well if you wanted to. You've actually surprised me, ladies and gents at home, because I love scenes anyway. I always buy scenes. But I didn't think many of you would buy the scenes as what I've got in this collection, because obviously it's a 12-week program. We have got a few scenes, but you have actually surprised me. So I don't know what we're doing, but I don't know whether you're all wanting to try something new. You'll have to let me know. Why have you bought the tree stamp? Is it something you would normally buy? Let me know, guys. So let's pop this onto the centre here and hide the middle of our makings. Is there anything you want to talk about, Tom? What about school? How's school going? Good. Is it going good? Yeah. Are you enjoying doing it at home, or would you rather be at school? School. Would you rather mum teach you, or would you rather be at school? No. Well, that says it all, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place this in the centre here, so it sort of like hides the ugly makings in the middle. Can we see that there? So we've got a sort of a different look. Just make sure that's straight before I actually commit. So I think we'll go there. Stick it down. I popped some pads under that one if you missed that, sorry. And then this one, I'm going to stick onto this piece of white card here. And as you can see, we've got a lovely panel at the base here, which is going to allow you to pop your desired sentiment in there. So whether it be a happy birthday, a get well soon, whatever the occasion is. So let's just move it out of the way. I'll just pop this one up for you. So that's the one we've just done quickly on air, nothing fancy at all. And this is the one I did ahead of time. So you can tell not really much work has gone in, albeit these trees look on a little bit of a slant, don't they? And they're more upright. But yeah, so quite a different type of card. Very, very simple though, just extending the design behind. Scenes are really versatile, yep. So let's move on to the next demo. I hope you liked that one, and I will post the pictures after the show so you can go back and refer to them if you are actually making the card. Jeannie's learning how to watercolour, so that would be perfect. Yeah, these are a great practice point actually, because you're not fulfilling or trying to be perfect. It's a great starting point. So let's set those two aside, and we'll just do one more technique with the next demo. Tom's dad is now the new schoolmaster. Is that right? And what have we been doing this week on your schooling? We've been doing maths and English. And what have we been counting money? Not real money, but we've been counting like stacks of coins on your workbooks, haven't we?
Yeah.
You did better than me actually, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave it there, darling, don't pull it. Right, so the next technique then is a little bit different, and it's very similar to the bleaching effect that we've done a few times now. I've done it on the stairs, I did it on some other demos, but rather than use tone on tone with ink, what we're going to do is we're going to bleach it out and then put some embossing powder over the top so it seals the colour. So I'm just going to show you that now. So let's pop this stamp on. So here I have a piece of craft card. Let's tell you the size for the people that are crafting along. So it's 16 tall by 12 wide. 16 tall by 12 wide. So I'm just going to pop the stamp on here. Again, capturing those lovely trees and missing out that path. Seems a shame to miss out the path, doesn't it? We did do a demo yesterday with the path though. It's not all been just using the trees. So Andrea's asking, how do I get the splatter effect? I can't do it. Shall we do it on this card then, sweetheart, and I'll show you how I do it, and maybe you want to try the way that I do it and see if it helps. Firstly, I'm going to grab, she says, where's my, oh there they are. So I'm going to just grab a distress ink pad, a water-based ink pad that's going to react with water, and I'm going to go with walnut stain, a brown one. So if you've got a brown one in your stash, a grey one would work if you haven't got a brown one. And you just look after those, Tom. And then just going to ink the stamp, the part that we need. Now there are a few ways that you can do this. You can spray the card and stamp into the wet card, or you can spray the stamp. What I would probably say is try both, see which you like, and then go from there, because it gives you two different results. So let's stamp this down. So this card is totally dry at the moment. Let me just, that looks like burnished wood, doesn't it? It looks, you could just absolutely leave that. You have got a card, a beautiful card, good to go. So do try tone on tone with your colours. Just going to do it one more time, make it a little bit brighter. So I've got a question. Is Dad good at maths and English, Tom? Shirley's asking you.
Not that good.
He's not that good, is he not? Is he better than Mummy?
No.
I think he is. Just a bit. Or just a lot.
Isn't.
Is he not?
No.
Okay, I'll take that one. Christine, the mini distress inks will be on this evening. I've started them, sweetheart, so they will be on this evening. So there we have our lovely image on there. So here's what happens. You can spray with water. I mean, it looks beautiful. It's such a shame, but it is a piece of card. So cut a lot of pieces of card and do them all in different do them all at different times. Go on then, darling, you do it. Go on then. It's not doing it, darling, let go. Oh. There we go, that'll do. End up with a puddle. It's a good job he's not in the studio every day, isn't it? Thank you. So, yeah, cut several pieces of card, maybe leave one as is, spray the card first and stamp, spray the stamp, spray after you've stamped, and the results are all completely different. Now I've stamped that, and as you can see, all the colour from that stamp, what I've just stamped, is sort of like bleaching a little bit. It's keeping some of its detail, but mostly it is bleaching out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dry that now with my gun. And because we're using craft card, it will dry back lighter than it actually looks originally, because craft card does go quite dark when it's wet. Remember not to move your stamp, and remember not to move your card, okay, for this technique. And the great thing about this technique also is if you do move the stamp and you want to try and line it back up, if you don't get it perfect, it doesn't matter. You still get a really, really good look, and I'll show you it on a card in a second. What you also must be mindful, I'm sorry I'm keep like telling, but because we have just used normal craft card, you are going to get all this warping. Can you see? I'll show you in a second when I take it out of here, because it's practically disappeared to nothing. If you are crafting at home though, do not take your, you can see it there, I don't need to move it. Don't take your artwork out, but I am going to show you anyway, so I'll line it back up. So you can see there we've got like a beautiful like watermark as such, if you want to call it. So it's just something a little bit different, is that. You can go round the edge with your blending tool and bring it to life so your eye's drawn into the image. Yeah, take it off if you want. So I'm going to grab the stamp again, and I'm just going to line it up best I can, holding it in place. And this time we're going to heat emboss over the top, but we're not going to heat emboss in clear, and we're not going to heat emboss in black. We're going to heat emboss in gold, and this is where you get your sort of different looks, and this is why I always encourage you to try different things, because the results are quite amazing really if you're just willing to step out of the box a little bit. So I am using my anti-static pad because I do have a feeling there's going to be moisture in this card, and the embossing powder will probably stick to it all. So let's just give it a good old brush over. Make sure your card's absolutely dry before you do your embossing. So let's just grab an embossing ink pad. That's a good idea. Whose idea is that? Amanda's. Run it through your cutting machine to flatten it out. That is a great idea. I just always bob mine under my Eureka, and then I forget about it. And then hopefully come back to it. So I'm going to pop the stamp on here like so and push it through. And then what will happen is you'll end up with the like bleach technique around. But what's going to happen is, because we're using the gold embossing, it's going to give us a different feel in the reflection. So the ink pad that I used for this one is Walnut Stain Distress Ink. I know a lot of you have been asking about my generation inks, and as soon as I have emptied the boxes, which are just outside the room door, and sorted out my craft room, I will be back onto those. So for the people that have got those, they will definitely be back out on my desk. They are my favourites. I'll just grab a piece of card here, and then we'll be able to catch our embossing powder. So you can see there it's picked up all of that lovely detail. Wait till we come to heat set it, it'll be beautiful. Okay. So gun hot, less warp in your card. Oh, using our Hemi-Silk crayons. I have them in my box too. So yes, I can absolutely incorporate them in also. It's sometimes just a little bit difficult. I don't like to do demos where we just throw loads of stuff at it. I like to maybe focus on one thing and then people take that one thing and then build it onto other shows, because it's a little bit overwhelming if I try and teach you so much. But absolutely, yeah, they will reappear. And Tom is 5. Going on 15. So I'm just going to heat set this one, and as you can see the powder will instantly change. So you can see you get the like faux bleach at the back. Can we see it out here around the trees? And then you get that beautiful embossing on there. It looks a really expensive card in my opinion. Wow, I don't ever want Tom to get any bigger, that's the problem. So let's set this aside. So let's do some splats. So what was the lovely lady's name who asked about splats? So let's have a look. So you can use your traditional watercolours. You can use your mini distress inks. You can use gouache for your white splatters if you want to, water it down. You can use confetti ink, which is Claire's metallic ink, which she launched a week ago, to get some gold splats. I would obviously say, if you can, incorporate splats with watercolour and add a pearly ink in some fashion. So whether that be your metallic ink or your pearly sprays, just to add some splats. So let's show you the effect on here. So let's pick a colour. So let's just go brown because we've got a bit of brown craft. So let's mix it up on here. I'll show you the consistency. So I'm getting lots of colour on my brush there. Then I'm adding some water, and what will happen is you get like a frothy. If you start to get little bubbles, it's at the right consistency. If you start, when you pounce, if you get bubbles, like froth, it's the right consistency. So get your brush loaded and then gently tap first of all. Now I'm a nightmare for splats. I literally go to town, I throw everything at it. I love a lot of splats, and you'll see that tomorrow when I show you a card I've made using an X stamp. Oh my gosh, you have never seen as many splats in all your life. So I'm splatting all around. Now this has got gold embossing on, so it will resist the splats, but it will go everywhere else. So you can see that there. And then I always do 2 different colours of splats because I always like to use the ink that's left on my pad. So let's just go a red. Just, you would never do this, but just for instance. So I've got a lovely frothy texture there, and then pop some red on there, look. So all I do, you can either hold your finger out and tap off the end of your finger, or you can just tap your brush. Whatever suits you. Oh, maybe a little bit more water, Adele, if you didn't quite get the So again, this is just what I keep saying every single time. Have the courage to go darker, because look at those splats, they've practically disappeared to nothing. You can only just see them, look. Now what I would do with this one is I would add something with some sparkle. So I'm just going to add some of Claire's metallic ink here, and I told you these would be making an appearance, and they are going to be heavily involved in studio next week. However, I think they're about £7 each. Do not buy them at £7 each. She's back on telly on Monday with the whole bundle for about £30. So please do not go onto the website and buy them. If you are interested, save yourself lots of money. So as you can see there, I've just mixed a lovely consistency there. It's frothy. I've got some lovely little bubbles in there, and then I'm just going to splat off the edge of my brush here. And these are going to give me that metallic. And these will dry like a sparkly finish. Like so. So let's dry this one off. And just hold that one up there for you. Then you can see you get the lovely, if it shows, can we see that there? And the one I've used there is the Sunshine, but she's got a beautiful gold, she's got a moonstone. So, or if you've got something in your stash that's a metallic-y coloured feel, I always add those on too. So that bleaching effect is like this card here, matte and laid onto a top folding note card with the gold embossing on there too. So let's move everything out of the way. Just 1 second, Tom. I hope that's helped the lady with the splats. I would just say get a piece of card and just continue to just throw everything at it. You'll see tomorrow exactly what I mean. And it's a great way of pushing your image back if you don't quite like it. Or, even better, if you've done a card, this is how you do it, right? I can just turn that way so you can just see it a little better. If you've made a card and you don't like it, go to town with the splats on it. See if you like it then. So any cards you make and you don't like it, not happy with that one, that might as well go in the bin. Splatter it to death. And that's the way you're going to, 1, get practice with your splatters, and 2, see a different result on your card. That's the way that I do it. So if I've fallen out of love with a card halfway through, I splatter it to death. And normally I like the card. Yes, sweetheart. Okay, just 1 second. So there's 2 lovely cards we've made in studio. I will post a picture after show. So thank you so much if you have been crafting along. Tomorrow I launch the 4th stamp in the collection. I'm so excited about it. I have been making samples today and showing you the versatility of the next stamp. I'm not letting you know what it is, though it is a surprise. No cheating and no peeking. So my son would like to show you his pictures. You want to show the giveaway? Go on then, talk. Show me.
This is one part of a giveaway. A rainy day.
A rainy day.
With a guy with an umbrella.
A rainy day with a guy with an umbrella. That's that one. And what's the next one, sweetheart? Oh, sparkles. So what's this one, darling?
It's a person loving this flower. On a sunny day.
On a sunny day. And that's a lovely one, well done. And the next one is Tom's giveaway. So we're going to pick a winner now.
No, these all 3 are giveaways.
All 3 are giveaways. Oh. You know Royal Mail's not very cheap.
I know.
So he's put everybody's initials on the back as well, signed it in some fashion there for you. So turn it over then, darling. This is the one that he's been working on before show, so that is his prep. And what's that one about, Tom?
It's just a sunny day with flowers and some different coloured grass.
Different coloured grass. Well done. They're very cool, Tom. So the winners for those lovely pictures of Tom's are Tracy, Brahini, Enid Laverick and Pat Pepper. Well done, ladies. PM me your addresses and I will get these pictures out to you. That's if you want them. Don't feel obliged. But well done, Tom. Okay, no problem. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sorry it's been a bit long with the wee boy. He's not here every day, thankfully. But it is nice for him to sometimes pop in and say hello. So what I am going to do is I'm going to be with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock launching the brand new stamp. We won't be working on the brand new stamp though, we are still sticking with the trees because we always do 3 live shows with each of the stamps. And don't forget all of the other tuition that we have given you with stamp 1 is still there and is still available. Stamp 2, which is the trees, stamp 3, which is the swing, and then stamp 4. I'll see you all tomorrow at 3 PM. Take care everyone. Bye.